Good day, this is Sun Kim's weekly global briefing on 3rd August. This is the first week of the August, and last week on the weekend, the U.S.-China made another dispute on the TikTok. The TikTok and WeChat is really a flourishing Chinese messenger, and the TikTok is some kind of application that using very short moving clips and the music together. And now that the reason that Trump banned the TikTok is not only the reason of the espionage, but also that really makes some kind of bug that is bugging the Oklahoma convention of the Trump. So that is the reason. So many teenagers and 20s they bought lots of Republican tickets at the Oklahoma party, and they made 2/3 of the TikTok users they made a no show on the party, on the convention, so that the Trump got mad about that, and it is natural that the government, when the government issue or it's a kind of election. It's a kind of election process, and it is prevented by some kind of messenger or somebody who is not identified by the U.S. citizen or not. Then it is really a big problem for the U.S. government. So it is natural that he banned the TikTok. And the problem is that Microsoft had some kind of problem with the Byte. These guys, the ByteDance, and then. Fortunately, this morning, this morning, the 3rd August, in Korean time, in the morning, they continued to talk about some kind of selling to the Microsoft the TikTok again. But this is a very part of that U.S.-China dispute, and it will continue to maybe end of September, I think. So from today to the end of the September, it will be a really very volatile market, not only in the stock market but also in the commodity too. So now we will check the indices and the commodities too. First, all three indices, the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P 500, they made all green light. And the problem is that they dropped down for dramatically, and then they raise up again and finish it with a very long tail downwards. But they made the green light, fortunately. And you know that the Nasdaq made up to the 10.7k lines, and then it tries to break the ceiling of the 11k lines, but I don't know whether we have to check whether it surpassed the 11k lines or not. And then S&P 500, it is following the Nasdaq's, but that now the untacked and the IT companies, they drive the stock markets and the Nasdaq, but the Dow Jones is still made a very downwards box patterns in downwards. So the real consumers market is not so good. And you know that the VIX August is it made the red lights, but it means that the financial market is stabilized, and on Friday it made the lowest position, and then it made a rebound, and now they dropped in 1.29%, but it's good. Okay, the financial market is stabilized, but now it is August, and everybody is really cautious about some kind of events. And now the commodities, the gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, they all made the green lights, and the gold tried to surpass the $2,000. And some month they passed the $2,000 lines, but they dropped down again. And nowadays, maybe in the December, gold it surpassed the $2,000. And now that August, And it is at $1962 and then just raised 1.06%. And you know that now the dollar index is dropping down, and I think maybe sooner or later, when the signal is coming out from the dollar index, and then the gold, silver, they all drop down again. The silver on the the gold and silver, they made a really big shaking on Tuesday and Wednesday. So, and the silver had a lot of problems because the silver had a range of $3, and it means that they have a 3,000 ticks movement in one day, and they had a big short in 2 times in both in gold and silver, and it is really a really big ouch for the investors. If an investor get into the markets in $24 in silver or the gold in 1900, then they will have lots of problems. Maybe they have a lot of problems. They had 2 times a big short in one day, and so does in Wednesday too. They had another big short in Wednesday. So you have to be careful about when you are doing investing in silver, because now I think it will make another shaking this week. And also I told you that the platinum, not the platinum. I told you the platinum. I said that $960 is the point that you have to sell everything, and somebody said that I don't think so, and then now it is $918. But if you buy my point and the $840 or $850, then it still has a chance. So you have to drop it all and then make your profit, okay, and keep your cash until the platinum go down to our position, the $840 or $50, okay. And the palladium, it dropped down again, and it touched the $2,300, but it dropped down again and more than $200. Now it is $21.54, and then still green lights, but you gotta be careful, okay. You drop down the palladium and then check that until it dropped down to the $2,000 or around $2,000. Now there will be adjustment. So not only in the stock market, but also in the commodities too. So you have to check it. In the copper, it showed the red lights. I told you that it cannot surpass the $3, and then now it'll make the maybe $2.70 to $2.90. Box balance now is $2.86. So you gotta be check. It is highest point. So you drop all the copper and then still waiting for the box bottom of the box pattern. I mean the $2.70. Okay. Now we're gonna check the oil. WTI and Brent, they made the green lights, and the problem is that they cannot surpass the gap in the middle of the COVID-19. Okay. COVID-19 is a really big burden for the oil markets, and Russia, they start to pump up more again. Okay, I'll talk to you the next session. Okay, and it will influence not only the Brent oil but also the Dubai oil. If they do that, then all the Gulf countries, they will pump up again, and then the Saudi Arabia, they will get messed, and their plan will be devastated. Okay. So the Dubai oil will fall down more than $40, and it'll be really hard to maintain the total book value of Aramco. That is another issue. Now it's a weekly news that I brought 3 news as usual. And number 1, I told you that Russia, they slightly raised July oil output ahead of OPEC Plus tapering. Yes, OPEC Plus, they also wanted to cut down the oil output, and then now the Russia said, I'm sorry that I just brought the oil slightly more. They say, but I am not sure. They say that slightly mean that they put a lots of oil. What they have mentioned before. Okay. Oh, that was the reason that why the Saudi Arabia made a really they made a max output of the oil on this April, and the the oil future dropped down minus until the maybe $40, minus $40, more than minus $40. You saw that. It was a really good chance that we can get the money of that. Yeah. So we will. I think we can see another minus oil price in August or September. Hopefully, if it happens again, then I'll pick it up. Okay. Let's see what happens then. Number 2, the Microsoft and ByteDance. The TikTok's mother company is the ByteDance, and then they put TikTok talks on hold after Trump signals opposition. Okay, you already know that, and then I give you another news that they continue to start the talks on their talk about to buying the TikToks from ByteDance to Microsoft. Yeah. So Bill Gates, he is really cautious about that. Then that Trump is really don't like. He really don't like the Bill Gates. He is not his favorite, unfortunately. The IT companies are not the favorite of the Trump, and he really hates it. I really mean it. I mean it. He really hates the IT companies. Okay, that is the issue. So sooner or later, the Nasdaq will make some kind of price adjustment, and so does the S&P 500. But the Dow Jones, it will keep it steady, and it will make another and it will keep less it will drop down less than the Nasdaq or the S&P 500. So you gotta be careful about the Nasdaq. It would be better to check the New York Stock Exchange. Okay. And then number 3 is the Financial Times. The LinkedIn spy scandal shines spotlight on China's online espionage. That Mr. Yo, he said that he is in charge of espionage in U.S. court, and he said that, and he admits that he used the LinkedIn to get access the military person and the government person of United States, and try to get the information or any confidential information from them. That is espionage, and so the next step is that maybe the Facebook, the Mark Zuckerberg, he'll face another big trouble. And I think the Trump administration and the U.S. government, they will charge the Microsoft and Facebook about the antitrust law or something else. Okay, so the IT companies, they will have a really big trouble in this third quarter. Now the market forecast: the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq, they raised that they are keeping their pace. And the Nasdaq raised again, but the problem is that on Friday all 3 indices fall down, and then they raise again, and finally they made the green light. The problem is that they made the long tails in the downwards. So it means that in August the stock market will face really deep price adjustment. Yeah. And number 2, the gold. It means that when the gold raises, the dollar index drops. So we cannot trust the dollars. So the Fed and the other guys, related guys, they will try to stabilize the gold, and they will try to drop down the gold price. And then maybe they can break the ceiling of the $2,000, and it shows the contango on the futures. And the problem is, the problem is that the dollar index is too low, and now it is about to break down. It is about to break $90. Okay, if they break the $90, then it'll be another problem then. So whether the Fed will admit it or not, that is another issue. Okay, so there will be a small or whatever. There will be some kind of adjustment, and then the commodity market, especially gold and silver, it'll make a really volatile markets, and so does the platinum too. So you gotta be careful. So that's the reason I told you that sell them all, sell them all and hold the cash. Okay. Number 3, oil is fixed on $40 per barrel, and there are few chances to raise unless there is a COVID-19 solution. Yes, I told you that. I mean it. There is really. And another issue is that the Russia and the Gulf countries, they are pumping out the oil, and then they sell it to the market, and the price drop down too. So maybe in August the oil price will drop down. There's a possibility that oil will drop down more than below $40. So you gotta check it out. And finally, weekly focus. And then number 1 is US liquidity limitless. No. Today, the Wall Street Journal said that now the US Fed, the Federal Reserve, it will abandon the preemptive rates. That means that the CB and BW, they will make some kind of a change. And especially they're issued by the shale oil companies and many leveraged loan companies, subprime leveraged loan companies, so that the Fed will burn them up, all these bad loans, and then stabilize the financial market. We can see the plan of the Fed on this article. Number 2, the reignition of US-China dispute. Yes, they are fighting each other, not only the Huawei, but also in TikTok and WeChat now. But sooner or later, they will make another agreement, because US wanted to stabilize the dollar index, and also China, they wanted to make a kind of digital currency and a bit the blockchain and other issues. Okay. If they wanted to stabilize it, then something real matter. You mean some commodities or the real consumer sector shall support this this digital currency. Without that, we cannot trust that. Okay. The currency or the some kind of monetary system is supported by the consumer's power and the real world. I mean the commodities. Without that, then money is just paper, or the digital currency is just some kind of a small transaction of electronically, and it has no trust or the power of real transaction. So the China will ask US for some kind of support about this currency, and they will make another agreement. But it will come maybe after September. That is my opinion. Number 3, is US presidential election on schedule with the COVID-19 issue? This month, the COVID-19 vaccine clinical test will come out, and then maybe on September they will make another all the consumers market will recover very fast, and so does the US election. The problem is that President Trump, he really don't like the mail voting. He really objects it, and he said that maybe then I can postpone it, whatever. Okay. It won't happen, but anyway, there is a possibility that he cannot. He didn't admit the result of the presidential election, and then he will fight for that. So, whether the COVID-19 is resolved sooner or later, the US presidential election will be another event for the US financial market, and so does the global market too. So we have to be careful what President Trump said about the election. That is another issue. Okay. So this is the end of our my weekly global briefing, and keep your principle and hold tight. The market will be volatile on this month, especially in August. So we have to be careful, and don't lose your money, and keep your principle, and then I hope you're a successful investment. And then, now the market is really in danger. So everybody looks for the profit, and then everybody says it is good. Then we have to check, really. We have to check the real situation. Everybody says it's good, then the real world is it's not good. It's not. So, okay, and this is the end of the briefing, and have a good weekend and have a good investment this week, and God bless you. Thank you.